Every brand owner dreams of this. Turning simple, everyday products into high-ticket items customers can't wait to buy. A plain t-shirt selling for hundreds of dollars. How does that even happen? Why do some brands get away with selling the most basic items at outrageously high prices, while others struggle to break even? It all comes down to one thing: positioning. So, how do you do it? How do you transform an average brand into a luxury status symbol that commands 10x the price? Today, I'm breaking down the exact 3-step formula luxury brands use to do this. And I'll be using one of the best examples to show you how. Rude. Once known for selling streetwear, seen as functional and low cost, Rude redefined this image, becoming a brand that sells identity and aspiration, not just fabric. And at the end of this video, you'll know exactly how these strategies can be applied to your brand, so you can position your brand as luxury in the market. So Rude manages to sell their t-shirts for hundreds of dollars, and it's not because the quality of their product is far superior to the competition. It's because they focus on this framework. They focus on visual identity, so how the brand looks, emotional identity, how the brand connects, and finally, the customer perception, so how the brand makes customers feel. This is very simple stuff to start with, but if you want your brand to be elevated and to have that luxury feel, then it needs to look the part. So you need to use typographies, fonts, and logos which resonate with other luxury brands and fits in luxury market. So Rude has done that really well, using fonts and typographies that elevate their brand. These need to be able to look premium, timeless, and they obviously need to be recognizable. Then when it comes to the color palette, Rude uses a pretty muted color palette, which is perfect when it comes to the luxury market, because bright, kind of fun, crazy colors don't fit with the aesthetic and the feel of luxury. And if you have any luxury products at home, one of the most important things when it comes to luxury products is actually the packaging. Sometimes the packaging can be even more important than the product itself. Why? Because it shows the attention to the small details, and that's a really big part of elevating your brand to the luxury market, is having attention to the small details. So when you open Apple product, you'll see the embossing, the small embossing in their packaging. If you buy high-end brands, you'll see satin ribbons, you'll see magnetic closures, these small things which give your brand the first impression when someone opens it and sees the product. And the first impression needs to be on par with other luxury brands. Nowadays, also, the digital presence is incredibly important. So as you can see, all these luxury websites have a very, very similar layout. They all have a consistent aesthetic, and even their ad campaigns are very similar. So this is not to blend in with every other brand, but this is to make sure that you match the feel of luxury. Because if you almost replicate what other high-end brands do, then you'll also be put on the same pedestal as them, and you'll be able to demand the same prices that they do. So next is emotional identity, and this is so powerful for luxury brands. Almost every luxury brand has a history. They have a heritage behind their brand, which is why they can demand these prices, because they've been here for a long time. They're experts in the product that they produce because they've been doing it for so long. So how can you turn your brand into something that's got heritage if it already doesn't have a long history and something that's easy to market? So a really good example of this is the fragrance brand Creed. They understand how powerful heritage is, and being positioned as a brand that's been making fragrances for hundreds of years. But they haven't actually been making fragrances for hundreds of years. What they did is they acquired a company that was created in 1760, meaning legally they could combine both companies, and they could say that Creed was created in 1760, even though it's the older company that they acquired that was created in 1760. So this is what I call manufactured heritage. So this is to show you that even if your brand is not hundreds of years old and it doesn't have an easy heritage to market, you can actually manufacture that heritage. So Rude, instead of manufacturing a heritage or using a heritage, they actually used founder-led marketing, which a lot of high-end brands also use. I actually created a whole video about founder-led marketing and how to create an ecosystem to attract people to your brand through you as the founder. So I recommend after this video watching that one. Final point I'll add to this is many high-end brands, actually a big majority of them, are actually been bought out and are conglomerates by companies that just buy the name, switch the manufacturing, and they manage to keep that heritage. That's just to show that the history and the image of the brand is way more important than the actual product when it comes to marketing and selling and setting those high price points. So adding to having that emotional connection is having symbols and icons that are instantly recognizable and are very unique to your brand. So you can see instantly these high-end brands, you instantly know what brands they are just by their symbols and the patterns that they use. And for Rude, they actually started, and this is one of the first items that took the brand off basically, is the bandana design. So they replicate and keep pushing this bandana design, which is almost the signature pattern for Rude. And there's just other symbols and icons that they use in their products where without even showing the logo, you should be able to recognize the brand. Then to build an even stronger connection with your customers is aligning your brand with cultural movements and trends, or actually even creating those movements and trends. So that's collaborating with celebrities, with big brands. Rude did a collaboration of Lamborghini, which instantly associates Rude with luxury because Lamborghini is a luxury brand. Having some of the biggest celebrities, billionaire celebrities, wearing your products also elevates your status and makes you be able to demand higher prices for your products. And last thing I'll add to this is a term which I'm calling luxury by association. So if you see many of the Rude t-shirts mention Monaco, horse racing, ski clubs, and all of these things are associated with luxury. So by just integrating activities that are known for being luxury into the products, into the designs, they're associating themselves with the activities, with luxury. And this is a way, without needing to connect with celebrities and higher end brands, you can subconsciously connect yourself with luxury. Then there's customer perception. So how does a brand make the customer feel? So there's many things that brands can do to increase their exclusivity when it comes to limited product drops or limited access, limited edition. And all top brands do this by limiting their supply to make their demands higher. But this is again, having collaborations with celebrities and top brands just to make their brand look and feel more exclusive, just because they have exclusive people and brands connected with them. And this connects to status and aspiration and community, making your customers feel like they're almost part of the club. They're part of the exclusive club. And Rolls-Royce do this really well with their exclusive community. This can also be done with exclusive events, like pop-up stores is what Rude really focus on a lot, and other loyalty programs and other exclusive events. Then there's social proof. So this is quite self-explanatory. This is like connecting your brands to big, almost luxury, prestigious publications like Rude connecting with GQ. This is just classic PR, making your brand have a stronger presence by connecting with the prestige of these organizations. And this is a couple bonus things that people don't seem to focus on hard enough. So first is customer experience when it comes to personalization and bespoke products. So high-end luxury brands, almost all of them have bespoke products for their ultra high-end lines, but also small things like engraving packaging, or like Apple engraving their products with some personalization. This really helps with the bond with the brand and the customer. And some of the strongest brands like Apple, as I said, really put an emphasis on this. And it's a small thing, but this really sets apart some of the biggest brands that know what they're doing when it comes to customer experience and connection, to the ones that are still perceived as slightly under. And if you're selling products at a very high price point, then pricing psychology can be a very smart tactic by positioning your products as almost an investment. So a really good example of this is Patek Philippe, that used to have the advertising campaign, you never actually own a Patek, you merely look after it for the next generation, which is incredibly intelligent, because if you're spending hundreds of thousands sometimes on a timepiece, by positioning it as something that is going to be passed down generations, it becomes a lot easier to sell psychologically. Follow this strategy and you'll be able to choose any price you want for your products and customers will still come. Thank you and subscribe for more strategies.